Hello, Eskans of the Philippines. This is NIta Salvador-Burris from Chicago, wishing you a Happy New Year. I want you to know that the recent Typhoon Sendong affected me again, just like Ondoy, and these disasters that are plaguing our country really concerns me. And I was very touched by your 75th anniversary conference last April, which I was able to attend, where you were doing this environmental work of planting 1 million trees all over the country. So I thought you were already doing your part. But I want to suggest today, after Sendong and Ondoy, that we really need to address the problem in a strategic way, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. So what I want to propose to you is what I call a strategic partnership or collaboration to start with before you become partners with the Wildlife Conservation Society of the Philippines. So I want to suggest to you to consider this partnership with the Wildlife Conservation Society and to begin to think about including scientific knowledge into your work as Student Catholic Action leaders, where in a sense, while you've already planted the trees, it's important that you also learn about reforestation. Why are trees necessary? What is the function of the roots? Because it holds the water in the soil instead of having landslides. So this collaborative partnership that I'm suggesting to you requires your exposure and relationships to develop with science professionals, as well as people who do research or government agencies that actually are good resources for community people like you to participate in community building and nation building. Now, what are the benefits of doing this? I was thinking that SCA, as a 75-year-old organization, now working at the diocesan level rather than the campuses, really needs to be connected with social activism as ordinary citizens, and that this activism has to be grounded in scientific knowledge so that your skills and your potential and your studies are connected with nationally relevant and important needs like environmental management. And I would also suggest that you now begin to consider disaster management. These are areas all over the world, environmental problems with climate change as well as disaster management, that will create jobs not only for yourselves but for people all over the country. And it's a critical skill to have, to understand how we can conserve our natural resources that are just disappearing, as well as how to handle disaster when they come, as they have come more often in the last 5 years. The first thing is to go to the website of the Wildlife Conservation Society of the Philippines and see whether there's actually a good fit between SCA of the Philippines and the mission, your mission, contrasted and compared with the mission of the Wildlife Conservation Society, and see whether there's a fit. Because if there isn't a fit between your mission and theirs, the partnership or collaboration will not work. And if you think there's a good fit, I would then say you spread this YouTube to all the regions, the 3 regions, and then each one would then decide whether they want to do what you're suggesting they do. And that way there can be some discussion first by all concerned parties, knowing full well what needs to be done and why it needs to be done and how it's to be done. And the last thing I want to say is the Wildlife Conservation Society is having its 21st annual conference. So they have been around for 21 years. They do this annual conference, and you can participate in it. It's on April 17 to 20 in the De La Salle College in Dasmariñas. So you would decide then, after you have considered the fit between the 2 organizations, how many can and should attend, because I know it costs money to attend these conferences. But that's my proposal, And I send it to you through this YouTube as Tita Tet suggested, because I really want to assist in seeing how Student Catholic Action young leaders that impressed me so much last April, all 500 of you together with the chaplains and the bishops, are working in a direction that is critical, because our really country needs to think about sustainability of our natural resources and conserving them. So I thank you, and I wish you the best and blessings for the new year 2012, and maybe one of these months I can be there too.